ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतः न शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सेदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेदवेदान्तवेदाङ्ग विद्यास्थानेभ्यैव च सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषम् पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। 64th सूत्र onwards. द्युभवाद्यायतनं स्ववशा स्वशब्दात्। Again, द्युभवाद्यायतनं स्वशब्दात् मुक्तोपसृप्य व्यपदेशात् नानुमानमतच्छब्दात् प्राणभृच्च भेदव्यपदेशात् प्रकरणात् स्थित्यदनाभ्यां च भूमा संप्रसादादद्युपदेशात् धर्मोपपत्तिश्च अक्षरं वरान्तधृतेः सा च प्रशासनात् अन्यभावव्यावृत्तेश्च ईक्षति कर्मव्यपदेशात् सह दहरुत्तरेभ्यः page 277. Please repeat. अथ सेकंड पैराग्राफ. अथ यदि इदमस्मिन् ब्रह्मपुरे दहरं पुण्डरीकं वेश्मा दहरः अस्मिन्नन्तराकाशः तस्मिन् यद् अन्तः तद् अन्वेष्टव्यम् तद्वाव विजिज्ञासितव्यम् इत्यादि वाक्यम् समाम्नायते. तत्र योऽयं दहरे हृदय पुण्डरीके दहर आकाशः श्रुतः स किं भूताकाशोऽथवा विज्ञानात्मा अथवा परमात्मा इति संशय्यते. कुतः संशयः? आकाश ब्रह्मपुर शब्दाभ्याम् आकाश ब्रह्मपुर शब्दाभ्याम् आकाश शब्दो हि अयम् भूताकाशे परस्मिश्च ब्रह्मणि प्रयुज्यमानो दृश्यते. तत्र किं भूताकाशः एव दहरः स्यात् किं वा पर इति संशयः. तथा ब्रह्मपुरमिति किं जीवोऽत्र ब्रह्मनामा तस्य इदं पुरं शरीरम् ब्रह्मपुरम् अथवा परस्यैव ब्रह्मणः पुरं ब्रह्मपुरमिति. तत्र जीवस्य परस्य वा अन्यतरस्य पुरस्वामिनः दहराकाशत्वे संशयः. तत्राकाशशब्दस्य भूताकाशे रूढत्वात् भूताकाश एव दहर शब्दः इति प्राप्तम्. तस्य च दहरायतनापेक्षया दहरत्वम् यावान् वा अयमाकाशः तावानेषः अंतर्हृदय आकाशः इति च बाह्याभ्यन्तरभावकृतभेदस्य उपमानोपमेयभावः द्यावा पृथिव्यादि च तस्मिन्नन्तः समाहितम् अवकाशात्मनाकाशस्य एकत्वात् अथवा जीवो दहर इति प्राप्तम् ब्रह्मपुरशब्दात् जीवस्य हि इदं पुरं सच्छरीरम् ब्रह्मपुरमित्युच्यते तस्य स्वकर्मणोपार्जितत्वात् भक्त्या च तस्य ब्रह्मशब्दवाच्यत्वम् नहि परस्य ब्रह्मणः शरीरेण स्वस्वामी भावः संबोधोऽस्ति तत्र पुरस्वामिनः पुरैकदेशे अवस्थानं दृष्टम् What is the problem? पुरैकदेशे अवस्थानं दृष्टम् यथा राज्ञा मन उपाधिकश्च जीवः मनश्च प्रायेण हृदये प्रतिष्ठितम् इति यतः जीवस्येवेदं हृदये अंतरवस्थानः स्यात् धारत्वमपि तस्यैव आराग्रोपमितत्वात् अवकल्पते आकाशोपमितत्वादि च ब्रह्माभेदविवक्षया भविष्यति न च अत्र दहरस्य आकाशस्य अन्वेष्यत्वम् विजिज्ञासितव्यत्वम् च श्रूयते तस्मिन् यदन्तः इति परविशेषणत्वेन उपादानाद् इति I was thinking to take some bhashya of the Ikshati Karma Vyapadeshat Sutra, but I'll see later on. I want to go to another Adhikaran, and next Adhikaran is going to be the, I think, fifth Adhikaran of this particular chapter, rather Pad, third Pad. This is the fifth Adhikaran, and this Adhikaran is known as Dhara Adhikaran. Dahara Adhikara. Because of the first sutra called, see, Dahara Uttarepyah. Dahar Uttarepyah. What is the Vishavakya of this particular Adhikaran, which it is based on what? It is based on Chandogya Upanishad, 8th chapter, 1st section, 1st sutra. Chandogya Upanishad, open Chandogya Upanishad in the Mantra Pushpam. In that Chandogya Upanishad, see the 8th chapter. 7th we had seen Bhumadikaran. And now you see first mantra of the 8th chapter. If you see, it is written there, At yadidam asmin brahmapure dharam pundarikam veshma dahara asminantara kashaha tasmin yad antah tadanveshtavyam tadvava vijigyasitavyam iti. If you have seen that, Atha yadidam, I will see the meaning. Just mark it on your book. Atha yadidam asmin brahmapure dharam pundarikam veshma dharaha asminantara kashaha tasmin yadanta tadanveshtavyam tadvava vijigyasitavyam iti. So this is the Vishavakya of this particular Adhikaran. So this is Upasana prescribed in the 8.1.1, 8th chapter, 1st section and 1st mantra. This is called Daharu Upasana. So first I will try to reveal what is the mantra, and then you will try to know where is the point where Brahma Sutra has to enter into this particular mantra. So I'll go very slowly so that you have no problem in understanding. This is called Daharu Upasana, not Baharu Upasana. This is called Daharu Upasana. Bahara means breath. This is Daharu Upasana. And Upanishad is revealing the Dahara Akash. I think I had taken 8th chapter of Chandogya in the course. Was it a CD heard or directly? I think directly I had taken Chandogya Upanishad 6th, 7th and 8th chapter. If you have your notes available, you can go and flip your notes for a change. Sometime we should go back and see what we have studied. So here, what is the point here? Upanishad is taking the physical body, and now he goes from the physical body to the one inside the physical body. Like there is a temple, and inside the temple there is a sanctum. And inside the sanctum there is a murti of the God. Very commonly spoken word that Deho Devalaya Proktaha Jivo Prokta Sanatana. This body is like the temple. In the temple there is a heart. In the heart there is a God. Like the temple is there, and temple has a bell. So this body also has one bell called tongue. Tongue is the bell of this temple. Ram, this is the inside Ram is ready now. Bell means a call bell when you go somewhere. So you bell, I have come, like that. Bell. So all temple had bells earlier. In the villages, the bell indicated that Aarti had started. Bell was an indication that now at least tune your mind even if you are not there. It's a puja kal. Lord invoking time is there. So very big bells are there in our temple. And lot of bell. Lord likes the sound, the reverberating sound. It's a therapeutic healing capacities in their conch or a bell. Conch is there. I hope you all know how to blow the conch. You don't know. How many of you know to blow the conch? I don't say you blow the conch. There you blow. First is it is very auspicious and Lord likes that conch. I was also blowing the conch, but I stopped because everybody found out when I'm doing puja. So, but it is good for what is it called? Pleases the Lord. And secondary purpose is that your lungs and your vibration of the place is changed if you blow the conch regularly. If any asthma problem is there, asthmatic, this is not the main purpose. Main purpose is to please the God. So, this body is like one temple. And it has like temple is a shikhar. Shikhar means that, the top shikhar, where the flag is there. Although we don't have flag in our peak of the temple. So this tuft is all like the shikhars. The top portion and this is the tuft is there. Okay. So this body is considered as a temple. There is a lot to do. And you have the temple, it is said, that means you are all the time centered on the God in the temple. Temple is not for, a sanctum should not be for throwing something filthy or something dirty or some kind of dust. So in the heart you are not supposed to put any dusty matter, filthy matter, dirty matter. So heart is meant to be the purest. It has to be purest, protected. Its purity should be protected. South Indian temple, therefore you cannot go inside also in the sanctum. If you go to Rameshwaram or Tirupati, most of the temple, I think wherever I have gone, so even the bulb is not allowed. Electricity. So, because if bulb is there, then the electrician will enter and wiring will be there. So they have not allowed any bulb anywhere. Only the lamp is there. Oil lit lamp. If you have gone to Rameshwaram, deep inside the sanctum is there. And you have to little focus to where is that surely. You can see it. If all the rush is too much, so there you see that there is the Sita ji is made, Shivling is there. Valuka Shivling is there. Parthiv Shivling is there. So there, that is not, people are not even allowed to go. Even the only priest will go. And those who go in the temple, inside the sanctum, if any time they go for washroom, etc., they have to take bath. Okay, so strict is there to maintain sanctity of that place. Sanctity. Why? Because there only Lord is there. Supposing you have taken bath, you don't want to touch anybody who's dirty. If you are very clean, you will always be conscious that I should not be, my sanctity should not be touched upon. So heart should be kept very clean, devoid of rag, dvesh, kam, krodh, irsha, This is the dirt of our heart. You should keep it away. It is a sanctum. It's not a garbage bin. Okay. And therefore, in our Upanishad, many times body has been mentioned like that. Hiranmaye pare koshe vrijam brahma nishkalam. In Mundak, the mantra command, Mundak it comes, Hiranmaye pare koshe vrijam brahma nishkalam. So here also that point has been mentioned. And this body, you know what is the name of this body? In this particular mantra, Brahmapur. What a nice name is there. Brahmapur. You know, Atha yadidam shari asmin Brahmapure. Like Jaipur. Pur means bird, city. City. Why it is called city? Huh? Why it is called city? Components. Openings are there. One more point. Main is the Jeev. Jeev is residing in the city. Tell me Gita Shlok. Here city word has come. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukam vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karyan. So Gita says it is a city of 9 gates. And this is called city. So in this city is called Brahmapura. What is in this city now? I am telling the meaning of the Upanishadic statement. So Dharam Pundarikam. Dharam Pundarikam. So Pundarikam generally means lotus. But here Pundarikam means heart, Hridayam. Because heart is like the lotus. But heart is not the open lotus, closed lotus. So in the left side is the heart. Left side. If for blood pressure, first they will take from here. To both the arms they say, but first. And when the heart attack is there, pain is this side. Because blockage is here. So if the pain is this side, there is a sign of heart problem. This side. Arms are affected. You should know all these things so that if you can make it out as heart attack or some other thing. So this is the... No, why I'm not wishing, but you should have the knowledge. It is not ordinary pain then. When heart attack is there, a person starts sweating badly. Badly sweating. Anxiety comes because he is not able to breathe. He has to be rushed to the hospital. So here Pundarikam means Hridayam. Because heart is supposed to be like the lotus in the bud form, not open lotus. Bud form lotus. So here see the word Brahmapure Dharam Pundarikam. We'll see each word and then we'll come to the sutra. The next word is Veshma. Veshma means sthanam. Abode. Pundarikam Veshma. So now, what is the meaning of Pundarikam Veshma? Hridayasthanam. Location in the heart is called Hridayasthanam. Pundarikam Veshma. Hridayasthanam. Acha. So what is the Hridayasthanam? Dharam. Dharam is what? Small. So small Hridayasthanam. Small Hridaya Sthanam. So how the whole word will go now? Please see. Brahmapure Dharam. Keep the mantra in front of your eyes, please. It is in the book also. In the Bhashya also. The Bhashya also. Bhashkar has quoted that. I made you open the book so that we are familiar. But here also it is there. Yad atha yad idam asmin Brahmapure. See what is written here. So Veshma. Vesh means Veshman is the word. Nakarant. Nakarant is there. Veshman. So Veshma. Sthanam. Abode. Hridaya Sthanam. So how is the whole word? So Dharam Pundarikam Veshma means small Hridaya Sthanam. Is the word Dharam Pundarikam Veshma means what? Small Hridaya Sthanam. How the whole line will be there now? Every human being has a physical heart, which is called the temple of Brahman, and within the physical body there is a small lotus heart, in which there is a residence. Vesh means residence. So every human being has a physical body. Inside the physical body is a physical heart, and inside the physical heart there is a location or residence. This is the meaning. Atha yadidam asmin Brahmapure, in this body. The body is including the physical heart, and physical heart has the residence. Whose residence will see? Okay. So asmin Brahmapure Dharam Pundarikam Veshma. Okay. Is it clear now? Clear now? Each word, Dharam means small place is there. Small. So Dharam will go with Veshma. So Dharam is small place is there. Now next word comes Dahare Daharaha Asmin Antrakashaha. Daharaha Asmin Antrakashaha. So now it is said that within the small space, Asmin means in this. Okay, see, Asmin word is coming. Asmin, see. Dahara asmin antarakashaha. Asmin for asmin. Hridaya. Good. Hridaya. Asmin Hridaya. Please note, in the first line, Asmin is for body. And in the second, Asmin is for Hridaya. So Asmin has two meanings at a different place. So within this small heart, in this heart, Daharaha Akashaha Asti. So there is within the small heart, there is a small space there. There is a small space. Small space. So Dahara Asmin, Dahara Akasha. So Dahara is the adjective of Akasha here. Small space is there. So Daharasya Pundarikasya Antah Daharakasha Vartate. So Daharasya Pundarikasya. So of this heart, which is a small heart, Daharasya Antah Daharakasha Vartate. Small space is there. So earlier, Daharasya Pundarikas. In the small heart, there is a small space. Okay. Dhara Akash means small space. Okay. Now this Dhara Akash is clear, no? Dhara Akash is going to be the point of inquiry. While just I'm giving the hint, this Dhara Akash will be consciousness, Chidakash. And Purpaksh will say this is external space. This is where Sutra is going to come. This Dhara Akash, he will say that within the heart there is only a physical space, whereas this Siddhanti will say that the Dhara Akash will be Chidakash. Okay. Please note, very important point. In this context, Akash means consciousness. So when Dhara Akash is mentioned, so Akash, how the word Akash has come? You know the Kashi word. Kashi means Kashi. Kashyate, that which shines. So Akash means what? Means Samantat Kashyate. Kash is the name of a dhatu, to illumine, to shine. Akash, Prakash, Akash. So A means Samantat. Samantat Kashyate, that which illumines or shines everywhere, is called Akash. So Satchidananda Rupena Sarvatra Prakashate iti Akasha. So that which illuminates everywhere in the form of Satchidananda is called Akasha. Chaitanyityartha. So Dhara Akash, can you tell what is the meaning of Dhara Akash? Concluding our discussion, Dhara Akash means small consciousness. Why small is used, don't ask this. We will see later on. So Dhara Akash is equal to Chaitanya Akash, Chidakash, Atma Akash. This place called Chidambaram. Chidambaram. Who has gone there? You gone there? Huh? You were there? You're not there. In South India, based on 5 elements, 5 Shivji's linga are there. And one linga is called Chidambaram. These are my favorite places where I go in my... This 11 Jyotirlinga Yatra was there. So we had to postpone it. Otherwise we would have covered all Jyotirlinga in December. But Chidambar is a very beautiful temple where Sage Vyagrapad was there and Panini was there. So given a chance, I would like to go again. Something attracts me there. So there is one temple, Kalhasti. Kalhasti is near Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. Their Lord is in the form of Vayu. So if you go there in that sanctum, the lamp, and the lamp constantly flickers in a particular direction. The Vayu avatar of Lord is there. So, and if you go in the, one day somebody was showing geographically, all 5 are like one straight line. Very interesting things are in India. It sounds mysterious, but Chidambaram is one place where God is seen in the form of space is worshipped. So Chidakash, Chidambaram, Ambar means the space. So Chidakash, Atmakash, this is the meaning of Dharakash. So Chaitanya Akash, Chidakash, Atmakash, Chidambaram. Okay. So after Akash, full stop. Another sentence comes. Tasmin. Tasmin. Tasmin yadantah. I am telling just the meaning of the whole mantra. We can see the meaning later on of the sutra. So there are two interpretations. One interpretation is Tasmin yadantah. Second interpretation we'll see later. First interpretation is Tasmin yadantah is a repetition of this Asmin antarakasha. Last what is coming is, yes, before that there is a word called Asmin antarakasha. So here it is called Tasmin yadantah kasha. Tasmin means Hridaye. Hridaye antarakasha. So within the heart, in the heart, there is a Chaitanya Akash. Don't forget this. We are going from outer body to the heart, then to the small heart, then to the small heart in the consciousness, then consciousness. So Tasmin means Hridaye. Hridaye antarakasha. Hridaye antarakasha. Okay. After yadantah, comma. So Tasmin yadantah, comma. And what should we do? Tad anveshtavyam. That Chaitanya Akash one should inquire. One should inquire about the Chaitanya Akash, the space of consciousness. Anveshtavyam. Tavya pratyay is there. One should inquire. And then it is written Tad anveshtavyam. So tad means Dharakasham. Dharakasham, that is small Chaitanya Akash should be inquired. And then last line is written Tadvava vijigyasitavyam. One should know that. Where vav means verily, indeed. It's not English vav. This is vav. So vav means indeed, verily. One should vijigyasitavyam. One should know that. Okay, now I'm going to. This completes the whole translation. Now I'll give you a nutshell in English so that if you have missed something, you can write it down. So final translation of the whole mantra is within the physical body, which is called Brahmapuram. Within the physical body, Brahmapuram. In Brahmapuram bracket you can write because it has Brahman, it manifests Brahman. Within the physical body called Brahmapuram, comma, there is a small heart. Full stop. Within the small heart, there is a Brahma, or there is a space. Within the physical small heart, there is a space. In that, there is a Brahma, which is called here as Dharakasha. Within the small heart, there is a manifestation of Brahman. There is a space called Dharakasha is equal to Brahma. Full stop. Wait. Next point. That Dharakasha, that Dharakash within the heart, one should inquire into. That Dharakasha, one should inquire into. Anveshtavyam. And after inquiring, one should know it. Vijigyasitavyam. And after knowing, one should meditate upon it. I hope this point is clear. One should meditate upon that. This is the simple translation of the whole mantra. Again I'll repeat that within the physical body, which is called as Brahmapuram here, there is a heart, small heart. Within the small heart, there is a space called Dharakash, which is equal to Brahma. And that Brahman, that Dharakash which is equal to Brahman, one should inquire into. One should inquire into and one should know and meditate. This completes our word meaning and the meaning of the whole mantra 8.1.1. Why you are saying all these things? Because this will not be described. It is already assumed that a person knows that. But you must have forgotten or not known, because many ages have passed since you heard Chandogya Upanishad 8th chapter. Forgetting is so easy, huh? And all non-essential thing we remember. Who said what? Who did not do like 10 years back he did like. Essential thing we are forget. God's name we forget. What we get is forget. In our success, who was behind us, we forget. All big things we forget. And all our non-essential matter, who said what, who likes me, who doesn't like me, all this we remember a lot. This is Maya. Maya is all around. Now, let me move ahead now. This Dharakash Upasana, when I say Dharakash Upasana, you understand now. I need not elaborate every time. That Brahman Upasana, which is in the space in the heart, is the prescription in this section of Chandogya Upanishad. Okay. How are we going to meditate upon that Brahman in the heart? How? So in the form of a space. We are going to meditate in the form of a space. Why space? Because a space is a formless God. A space is a formless God. A space like God should be meditated upon. Why? Because the space doesn't have boundaries. It doesn't have property. And therefore in our Shastra, many times the space is equated to consciousness. In Atma-bodh, in many texts, etc. And in that space, like God, the whole world is resting. This is an interesting point. In that space, which is like God, so world is resting. See, gradually, from the God to the form, we are going towards formless God. This is the graduation. So you're not supposed to stop there only, God with the form. So first you meditate on Sagun Brahma. Then you are meditating on the space Brahman, which is outside. And then you are meditating on the space which is inside your heart. 3 steps are there. So even if you meditate on Sagun Brahman means limited God. It is Upasya Ishwar. So Upanishad wants that you should try to graduate slowly. Sambhutim cha vinasham cha yastad vedo ubhayagam sah sambhutya Sambhuti and asambhuti upasana, manifest and unmanifest upasana. Asambhutya amritam ashnute. So sambhuti, both upasana should be done. So if the saguna upasana is not done properly, when a person doesn't get selflessness, desirelessness, angerlessness. So three objectives are there. Karma Yoga Upasana and Bhakti Yoga Upasana cannot be done with Nirguna Upasana. So Karma Yoga Upasana and Bhakti Yoga Upasana requires a Saguna Murti. You need an external form of God until you are thinking that you are a person with form. Get my point? If you think you are with a form, so it is always you will visualize an Ishwar which is with form. And you will be more comfortable in visualizing as that God who is human being, who is a human form. If the buffalo sometimes thinks of the God, then buffalo will always think of the God as a buffalo. If the dog thinks of a God, the dog will never be comfortable with human form God. Dog will think of a dog God. It is a natural thing. Therefore, the first is that you have to go through a long process of Saguna Upasana. That will melt your egoness and melt your desireness. You'll try to surrender, give up your individuality in front of some human God. Human formed God, not human God. Human formed God. And when you are able to get out of that very constricted thinking. Ego means constricted, restricted thinking. You never break your own boundaries and think. That is called egoistic thinking. My sorrow, my joys, my bigness, my imagined bigness. I'm not able to identify with the bigger picture everywhere. You always think about very small. It is centered towards my own personal loss, gains. Very personal loss and gains, I think. Sense of being neglected is very strong. That is egoistic existence. Please get my point. People may neglect or not neglect. That is one thing. Maybe somebody is unconsciously neglected, but he is not deliberately neglected. Or sometimes you will be deliberately neglected. That is one thing. But to feel neglected is a very different thing. Feel neglected is a feeling of an ego which feels sidelined. Which feels somebody has put me at the corner. That people cannot touch that area. That is my personal manufacturing. They may neglect consciously, unconsciously. Sometimes they don't neglect consciously. It is just by mistake he didn't talk to me. It was not his intention to neglect me sometimes. He didn't talk to me because he has his own mood today, or he was busy somewhere, or he talked to that person because there was some work with him. So half an hour he talked to him, and to me he didn't talk for 1 minute also. And it was not an intentional negligence on his part. And he saw me or he didn't see me, and he just bid me by and went away, or didn't even bid me by also. I felt that he is very upset, or he sidelined me. This feeling of being neglected in I. This is treated by Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. You need a treatment. You need some solvent. Solution. Solution is a very good word. I like this word solution a lot. Some English word, a very hitting word. Solution. Solution because it solves your crystallized identity. It was not neglected, but other person felt it like that. And more your ahankar is, more the feeling of being neglected will be there. Bhagwan Ram never felt neglected being sent in the forest. He didn't feel neglected being deprived of the kingdom. This neglected feeling is the area to be dealt by Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. And because I get neglected at a certain place, and somebody attends to that neglected personality, and there is where I get attached. Attachment is towards that entity, person who gives me an identity towards the neglected personality. It's not love. Don't confuse that. This Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga needs a God so that the desire of getting identity from somebody is no more. Desire of dissolving identity in the God is there. This desire is called bhakti. So it doesn't mean you attend or not attend, because anyway I was not wanting it. Like non-veg is distributed, supposing. Somewhere non-veg is distributed. And somebody he gave to 5 people. And you knew this is non-veg. And he didn't give to you. You don't feel that he neglected me, because anyway I don't take it. This identity non-veg, this attending to me, he gave to 5 people. He talked to 5 people. He didn't talk to me. And he didn't give me the identity. I'm not, because I didn't want it. Because I know it is unholy. It is unholy thing. It is not divine thing. It's not a pure thing. And I am only attempting to dissolve my identity. And therefore it's not my problem of not getting an identity from somebody. Therefore sannyasi can live without any attention. Sannyasi, he is busy attending to that inner God. Therefore it doesn't matter you talk to him, don't talk. So when you are on the path of Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, you are making yourself non-vulnerable and non-negligible. You don't feel neglected. Feel, underline. People will be neglecting you, because nobody will be respected everywhere. Everybody is neglected somewhere. If you go in any consecration, in any program, any function, supposing you go, out of 100 people, all will not be for you. You will neglect. It doesn't matter, because I did not want the attention. This not seeking the attention, or there is no desire to get that non-veg identity. This is the fruit of Bhakti Yoga, because I am busy inside. I am offering to him. I am come here to dissolve myself, not to get some concrete thing for you. Otherwise, I would have gone somewhere else and played a life of a politician, or I would have gone and got married. Or if you want to get identity, get married. At least some person will constantly ask you, how are you? Did you take food? Did you take water? Did you take medicine? Somebody will talk to you. If you are lucky. That also is doubtful. With lot of clauses, everything comes. Even Santa comes with a clause. Why? If you are lucky, then wife will say, okay, have milk, you have not taken tea, you have not taken coffee, why you are not taking to me, why you are not well, why you are lying down, shall I press your head? Or if your wife, husband will say, he said, what is this? So somebody is constantly, it is based, married life very based on your identity giving person around. And therefore, if one goes away, other person suffers like anything. Because his identity giver has gone. So he is now chopped. Whole life they will cry. On next birth, he will be born as a woman, and because he was thinking too much about the wife. But when a person is on the path of sadhana, he has come to burn himself. He has become sati now. Sati, understand, no? With the husband, he is burning himself. Well, I'll go with you only. To your log, wherever you are going, there I'll go. So here I'm living for truth and not for false ahankar. And that what makes the sadhana tedious, difficult. Somebody is giving. If you don't take tea, coffee, he will ask. People don't know also that you have not taken. Maybe if you have not taken for 1, 2, 3 times, others will notice, oh, you have not taken. Even if you have, somebody gives identity, that is not my area. Because who can be with your room at all time? You are alone in your room. So Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are not possible by Nirguna Brahman. Get my point, please. And I have seen seekers who directly jump onto Nirguna Brahman. Right? They talk about it, they can listen about that, they can meditate for some time. But when you go closer to the personality, you can make it out that this person doesn't have that softness. Still there is a crystallized identity existing in him. He has not softened himself. So for a small time he can meditate on Nirguna Brahma, but not a long time. He has not given time to with the solvent and solution. The grams are there. We used to soak the gram in the water in the night. Grams. So hard grams, not the soft one. Hard grams, even peas also. You put it in the water for overnight. And then it softens, it bulges also slightly. And then if you put more, it will become more softer also. So this water is this God and Guru Bhakti. Therefore, Saguna Upasana is very, very important. But after a person has softened his mind and he is merging with this God, then the question comes, what is the nature of this God? And there is where Upanishads step in. This is how long you soften now. Now know the nature of that solvent, which is Nirgun Brahm here. Upanishad wants to take you out from that. Got my point? And therefore Bhagavan says in Gita that one who jumps to Nirguna Upasana and he struggles a lot by Klesho Dikataras Tesham. Pura Guru. You have by hearted it. क्लेशोदिकतरस्तेषाम. हाँ कीर्ति मार पड़ेगी. You also by hearted. You also by hearted 12th chapter. क्लेशोदिकतरस्तेषाम अव्यक्ता सक्त चेतसाम अव्यक्ता ही गतिर दुखम देहवद निर्वाप्यते. Those who are identified with body, for them Nirguna Upasana will be tragedy. They can understand, but they cannot abide into it. Right, 12th chapter, 9th chapter, 2nd chapter, try to by heart it. What happened to you? Stop reading or what? Read every day. So this is Saguna Upasana is very important. But after you are already mastered that area, you are not selfish, you don't have selfish desires, you don't have a problem of character, you don't have a problem of wandering mind. This is a big thing I'm saying. You don't have the problems of all this. You have a very defined mind is there. Now Upanishad says, please come back to me. Now come back to Dahra Akash Upasana. We should not be here now. Why? Because that is not the ultimate. I want to take you to the last one. He wants to elevate. Elevate. We should be promoted. You have a refined mind. Ho gaya. Your vessel is clean now. How long will you clean the vessel? Now you put some kheer into it. Some paisam into it. Put the Brahmakar vritti into it. It may take births. I'm not saying it is not for one birth. Depending how much is your past to be cleared up and how much effort you put it now. Because everybody is a big baggage behind it. May not come empty hand. There is big samskar rashi is there. Somebody has more anger, somebody has more calm, somebody has more laziness, somebody has all. Somebody has inferiority complex, somebody is dull, cholesterol headed. Good word I heard. Sir, cholesterol intellect is there. Dull with it. He can become very subtle. Don't lose hope on that. You just don't know where he'll shine one day. He'll take time. Maybe one bird, two birds. He will again struggle. But he can really outshine. Therefore, everybody has a different speed, different track. Different track, therefore never compare yourself with anybody. Because your track is different, your speed is different, your part is different, your baggage is different. And it won't help you at all by get inspired by everybody. But don't put yourself in the same, you cannot. Because he has already done that what you are starting now sometimes. Somebody has already completed that course which you have started just now. This is what happened in Sanskrit class. Therefore I told yesterday, I told her also, and I will tell Richard also, to have modules. Don't make the person drag in the same class. Those who they are not understanding, please again attend to them. Go slow with them. And those who have done that, let them be another module. 6 months you have already done the course, Sanskrit course. Now you should be another Now new one who has come, they should be given separately. Don't put the new one in the 6th course. He has already completed that and you are teaching again the same thing. And now this person who comes new and he compares the one who's already seen 6 months. He said, see, he can write Ram, he can write Krishna, he's so good. And already he has done it. You are just a beginner. Don't compare. Get inspired. But we start comparing. He talks well, I'm not talking well. Or I can talk well, he doesn't talk. Don't compare. Or he can do more jap, I can't do jap. He has already done the jap in the past birth and then he has come in this birth only. He is a japist of the last birth. And you are the first time you are taken mala in all the births. Every seeker is different, but he's a seeker. Complementing point is there is a hope for him. Okay, my time is also over. So tomorrow I will see about Dahara Akash Upasana. Already I told you what is the problem. That Dahara Akash is Brahman. This is Siddhanti will say. Purpakshi says it is a simple Bhutakash. This is where. How many sutras are there? 8. 8 sutras are there, I think. 8 sutras are there in this Adhikaran. And beautiful Adhikaran is there. I am sure you will enjoy. We'll see more tomorrow. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Hari Om.